Imagine this. It's a typical Tuesday morning. The sun is just beginning to filter through the kitchen blinds as 67-year-old Margaret starts her day. She's led an active, seemingly healthy life, daily walks, a decent diet, and up-to-date checkups. Like many of us, she wakes, pours a steamy cup of coffee, and sits down to check her messages. She's thinking about her garden plans, not about her heart rate. But within the next hour, she experiences a crushing tightness in her chest, an unexpected, life-altering heart attack that shatters the illusion of, "I'm doing everything right." Margaret's story isn't rare, and it strikes without discrimination. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about awareness. Heart attacks are still the leading cause of death for both men and women over 60. The cruel irony? Most happen in the morning, often to people who would never call themselves at risk. Margaret was diligent. She checked every box that traditional advice laid out, but she never suspected her cherished morning routine held hidden dangers, habits nearly everyone takes for granted. Now, let's talk honestly. Have you ever wondered why some of the healthiest, most careful people you know get blindsided by heart problems? You might be eating right and staying active, but there are little things, almost invisible details woven into your mornings that could quietly be stacking the odds against you. The statistics are quietly shocking. More than 40% of heart attacks in those over 60 occur within the first waking hours. Now imagine how it would feel to discover that the very habits you rely on for consistency and comfort are, in fact, igniting the fuse on a hidden risk. What if just a few small, science-backed shifts in your routine could dramatically reduce your odds and give you back true control? That's what we're diving into today: the myths, the science, and the life-changing truth about those first crucial hours, and how to finally turn the tables in your favor. For decades, most of us have blindly trusted what feels familiar. The classic morning ritual: a hot cup of coffee, a glance at the headlines, maybe even before getting out of bed, and a quick shower before starting the day. Skipping breakfast altogether or popping medications on an empty stomach doesn't even register as risky. It's what we've seen modeled by parents, friends, and for years, even doctors in well-meaning advice columns. The morning is organized around comfort, speed, and ritual, not conscious prevention. We're lulled by the sense that if it's common, it must be safe. But here's the twist: comfort doesn't always mean safety. Most people believe that queuing up caffeine before anything else is harmless or even healthy, that a little hunger is good for you, and that checking email or news is just staying informed. The reality is that social norms and outdated wisdom haven't kept up with what modern science now knows about the aging heart. In fact, these automatic rituals can silently amplify the very risks we're trying to avoid. The trap is subtle and deeply ingrained. Routine feels like reassurance, but it could be interruption, a physiological stressor that your heart simply can't shrug off the way it used to. What if those easy, seemingly minor habits, like drinking coffee before water, skipping breakfast, zipping into stress mode, or taking pills without food, are quietly tipping your heart into danger precisely when it's most vulnerable? Most never question these practices until it's too late. The truth will surprise you. But let's zoom in on what's really happening inside your body between 5 and 10 a.m. and why those routines can be so risky after 60. There's a silent choreography unfolding inside your body each morning, dictated by forces that don't care about your routines, your intentions, or your optimism. Understanding this invisible symphony is the first step to outsmarting heart risk after 60. Here's why those early hours matter so much. As soon as you open your eyes, your body's circadian rhythm resets. In youth, this rhythm is robust and adaptable. But as we age, it grows more rigid. The heart and blood vessels aren't as forgiving. By design, your body floods itself with cortisol, a stress hormone that sharpens alertness but also raises blood pressure rapidly, like a wave pushing your system from 0 to 60. This cortisol awakening response, intended for survival in ancient times, can be a storm the older heart struggles to weather. Now consider blood pressure. For most, it doesn't gently climb up during the morning, it surges. Think of your arteries as highways, and morning as rush hour traffic violently hitting the on-ramp. In people over 60, arterial walls stiffen over time, and years of wear reduce their ability to buffer these spikes. Suddenly, the pressure inside your vessels is higher than your heart is ready for. Add to that the natural overnight fast. By morning, you're mildly dehydrated. Less fluid in your bloodstream means your heart must pump harder to circulate thicker blood, putting even more strain on aging vessels desperately trying to keep up. On the surface, morning looks peaceful, coffee brewing, sun rising. Underneath, it's a perfect storm. Now factor in medication timing. Certain drugs, especially blood pressure pills and statins, interact with circadian changes. Taking them at the wrong moment can blunt their effect or even backfire. This is why so many heart events, up to 40% after age 60, strike in these unassuming hours. Here's the aha. What feels automatic, rolling out of bed, skipping water, reaching for coffee, firing up your devices, grabbing pills, or skipping food, can become a dangerous cascade, multiplying micro-stresses and stacking the deck against your heart. These moments are not trivial. They're high stakes disguised as habit. Let's get specific. Of all the things you might tweak, which hidden hazards carry the highest risk, and what, exactly, can you do differently starting tomorrow? First up, a habit we almost all neglect, but which could be your most powerful swap for a safer morning and a stronger heart. Let's start with something deceptively simple: hydration. You've heard drink more water your entire life, but here's the catch. Most adults, especially those over 60, routinely wake up in a state of mild dehydration. It doesn't always feel urgent. You go from bed straight to the kitchen, often reaching for coffee first, underestimating the heavy toll that skipped hydration can take on your heart. Consider the story of John, a fit, active 67-year-old who prided himself on getting things done early. His routine? Coffee first, a hurried scan of the headlines, a quick shower, and off to his morning errands, sometimes not sipping water until noon. John thought he was on top of things. Then, one morning, after feeling a bit woozy and dizzy, he was rushed to the hospital with what could have been a massive heart attack. Blood tests revealed his blood was thick, almost syrupy, a classic sign of dehydration exacerbated by caffeine's diuretic effect and the natural water loss that happens overnight. Science backs this up powerfully. Research published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that plasma volume drops overnight. For older adults, even a relatively small drop in hydration thickens the blood, making it much harder for the heart to pump. This means that in the vulnerable, high-cortisol morning hours, your heart is forced to work harder to circulate blood that's less fluid and more viscous, exactly when arteries are less flexible and blood pressure is already peaking. The fix is both simple and profound. Make water your first ritual. Within 10 minutes of waking, aim for a full glass, around 12 to 16 ounces, of room temperature water before coffee or anything else. For flavor or added benefits, squeeze in fresh lemon or add a few slices of cucumber. This single step helps prime your circulatory system, reducing blood viscosity, supporting kidney filtration, and lowering early morning strain on your heart. Start noticing how you feel after hydrating versus waiting until later. Protecting your heart can begin with this micro move every single day. Surprisingly, it could be the most life-saving minute you spend all morning. If a glass of water can shift your risk so dramatically, what about the next sneaky habit? One that millions shrug off as just part of life. Let's tackle the role of stress and rushing, and why it's such a potent trigger for morning cardiac events. Meet Rita, age 72. For years, she woke up feeling frazzled before her feet even touched the floor, her mind already racing through to-do lists, appointments, phone calls, and reminders. She described her mornings as a rush against the clock, grabbing coffee, checking notifications, and moving so quickly that breakfast and joy were both absent. Despite exercising in the afternoons and eating well, she always felt wired and tired, never suspecting this breathless pace was quietly hardening her arteries. Here's what's really happening. That morning rush isn't just a lifestyle. It's a tsunami of stress hormones crashing through your body. When you awaken, your cortisol naturally peaks, priming you for the day ahead. But when you accelerate straight into stress, emails, news, traffic, frantic multitasking, you amplify cortisol's effects, sending your blood pressure even higher and accelerating inflammation inside your vessels. Over time, this repeated surge contributes to plaque buildup and hardening of arteries, especially in people over 60, where natural artery flexibility is already waning. Recent studies show that these sharp, daily morning cortisol spikes are strongly linked to heart attack risk, independently from classic risk factors like cholesterol or blood pressure readings. You may think it's just normal stress, but in the sensitive biochemical environment of the post-60 heart, these rituals light a slow fuse under your cardiovascular health. It doesn't have to be this way. Rita's transformation began with a shift. Instead of reaching for her phone, she started with a 3-step morning de-stress ritual. First, before standing up, she'd take 2 minutes for slow, belly breathing, 5 deep breaths in and out. Second, she'd step outside for just 60 seconds of sunlight exposure, resetting her circadian rhythm and stress response. Third, she'd write down one small intention rather than her whole to-do list. Within a month, her blood pressure had improved, and, more importantly, she felt calm for the first time in years. What's the most stressful part of your morning routine? Share in the comments below, because you're not alone, and hundreds in our community are finding new ways to reset their day together. Next, as we peel back another layer, let's confront a morning habit many believe is healthy, but could actually be ramping up inflammation and cardiac risk: skipping breakfast or reaching for a quick sugar hit. Ever rush out the door with nothing but orange juice or a pastry? Or worse, nothing at all? You're not alone. For decades, many believed skipping breakfast was harmless, maybe even helpful for weight control. But for those over 60, this habit flips a metabolic switch with surprising, sometimes dangerous, consequences. Think of your metabolism like a car engine left parked overnight in the cold. When you skip breakfast and then spike your system with sugar, you're forcing your engine to rev from 0 to max before the oil even circulates. Studies, such as the large-scale research published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, show that people, particularly older adults, who routinely skip breakfast or eat only quick refined carbs face elevated inflammation, higher LDL cholesterol, and greater plaque buildup in their arteries. The blood sugar roller coaster that follows a sugar hit or an empty stomach triggers a surge in insulin and inflammation, further stressing the heart during its most vulnerable window. One piece rarely discussed: skipping breakfast actually raises the risk of high blood pressure and insulin resistance, even in people who eat well later in the day. Your heart, after a night of fasting, craves a steady, mild fuel source to cushion it from dramatic physiological swings. Spiking or starving your system first thing in the morning is, quite literally, slamming on the gas with a cold engine, dangerous and damaging over time. The solution isn't complicated or time-consuming. Trade the quick sugar hit or skipped meal for a breakfast rich in slow-release fuel. A bowl of steel-cut oats topped with berries and walnuts, Greek yogurt with seeds and sliced apples, or a veggie-packed omelet. These options support stable blood sugar, lower morning inflammation, and gently warm up your metabolic engine, extending a protective effect over your heart for hours to come. Pause and ask yourself, what has breakfast meant in your home for decades? A rushed afterthought, or a conscious investment in your heart's many tomorrows? Up next, we'll unravel another overlooked pitfall, one hidden in the timing of a daily ritual millions trust for their health: morning medication. Meet Tom and Linda, both in their early 70s, proud of their consistency. Vitamins and meds lined up by the coffee pot, each pill swallowed before breakfast without fail. They'd always believed routine is safety. But last year, Tom had a scare, a dizzy spell, and irregular heartbeats, just after his morning pills. A visit to their cardiologist revealed what they never considered: the timing of certain medications is as crucial as taking them at all, especially after 60. Many people, like Tom and Linda, fall into autopilot medication mode, taking blood pressure drugs and statins first thing. While routine matters, new research suggests the benefits and risks are tied tightly to our body's own rhythms. For some blood pressure medications, evening dosing may actually reduce nighttime events and lower morning spikes more effectively than early dosing does, especially in older adults. Similarly, studies in the European Heart Journal highlight that statins, designed to work with the body's natural cholesterol production, which peaks overnight, may be more potent if taken with the evening meal rather than at dawn. The danger? Taking medication at the wrong Time can leave your heart unprotected during those high-risk early hours, or even cause unnecessary drops in blood pressure when it's not needed, leading to dizziness or falls. And statins swallowed with coffee instead of food might lose their effect entirely. These aren't just theoretical risks, they're reality, quietly impacting thousands every day. If you're taking heart medication, ask your doctor or pharmacist, when is the best time for my specific meds? Don't change on your own, as timing can interact with other conditions and medications. But don't be shy about this conversation. Modern, personalized scheduling can dramatically shift risk in your favor. Tom and Linda, with a simple switch to evening dosing, have not only steadied their numbers, but finally feel confident that their routine is working with, not against, their bodies. Now, let's gather all 4 habits: hydration, managing stress, breakfast choices, and medication timing into a simple, powerful blueprint. What does a genuinely heart-safe morning look like? And how can you make these changes stick, starting as soon as tomorrow? Now, let's pull these discoveries into your new morning blueprint, simple, actionable, and rooted in science. Imagine 2 scenarios. On the left, the dangerous default, the autopilot morning we've all fallen into at some point. Groggy, you grab coffee before water, speed into stress and notifications, skip breakfast or reach for sugar, and pop your meds out of habit. On the right, your new normal, a heart-safe routine empowering you from the first minute. Start with hydration, 12 to 16 ounces of water, giving your heart what it needs to function at its best. Next, before diving into a whirlwind, take 2 minutes for calming breaths or a moment of morning sunlight, signaling peace to your brain and arteries. For breakfast, choose steady fuel, oats, protein, fiber. Finally, be intentional with your medication timing. If you haven't yet, check in with your health professional to individualize your schedule. Here's your rapid action checklist. Hydrate first thing. Pause for calm. 5 slow breaths or step outside. Eat a heart-friendly breakfast. Double-check med timing with your doctor. Thousands in our community have already made these shifts, sharing stories of better energy, smoother blood pressure, and, most importantly, a sense of confidence that they're protecting themselves every single morning. Check the comments. People just like you are reporting steadier mornings and unexpected peace of mind. This checklist is your invitation to stop guessing and start transforming with the support of a growing, like-minded tribe. The next step is simple, but the payoff is profound. Ready to join the movement? Let's close with one more surge of motivation. This is your moment to take action, share your commitment, and lead by example for those you love. Here's the real breakthrough. Up to 80% of early morning heart attacks are considered preventable with the right lifestyle shifts. That means your choices tomorrow and every day after can literally change your odds. Imagine the hospital beds and heartbreaks we could avoid if more people knew how powerful these simple tweaks really are. This isn't just about you. It's about your partner, your children, your whole family learning from your example. This community is filled with people who once felt powerless, but now share stories of new routines, renewed energy, and unexpected hope. When you comment below, you're not only making a commitment to your own health, you're showing others that transformation is possible at any age. Be bold. Declare which one habit you're tackling first, or share your personal tip so others can benefit. When you share this video, you might just be saving someone you love from a future they never saw coming. If you're ready to take real control, subscribe and join our fast-growing community of thoughtful action takers, people rewriting the script on what aging can look and feel like. We're in this together, and this is just the beginning. Upcoming videos will help you deepen these habits and explore more hidden triggers, so you never have to feel blindsided again. Let's be the generation that ends the silent risk. Your new morning starts now.